What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Digital Ecosystem Mastery Market Monday. I think this is one of the first ones we've done, guys. That's super exciting. With these two live trainings I do, more than half the time by the computer. Today, because it's more of an orientation thing, I did it from the car, so it's more of a Todd in the car episode. I want it to be something that's useful, not just for you as a business owner, but I want to give you something you can plug your entire team into. And that's been very important for me since the beginning. A lot of these masterminds and courses will try to bill you per person. If you got a 5-person seat, you're paying for, 5-person company or 5-person team, you're paying for 5 seats of the mastermind. That's just how it is. I want to do it a little bit differently because I want to stress the importance and really emphasize how team behavior and operating as a team and a cohesive unit is always going to be the secret to scaling your business the way that you want it to be scaled. And so with that being said, I'm going to talk on Mondays about like market trends and things to consider when doing digital marketing, kind of a theoretical context, and going into some of the research I've done that week on what's working, what's not working, what you guys should be absolutely doing one way or the other to perfect your businesses. And on Thursdays, I'm going to be using that as an opportunity to talk about different technology, different technical strategies, actually being in front of a computer and building out some automations in a way that either yourself or your social media team or your administrative assistant can really just sit down, go step by step through the video, maybe write some notes for herself, use the notes I'll provide in the actual course or the post. And, from there, just kind of build out what you want to have built out and reaching out to my team for support. With that being said, I want it to be useful not just for the people building the system, so it's your team, but also for yourself as a business owner. So I guess today I'm going to take an opportunity to kind of share my thoughts on how you'll utilize this particular section of the mastermind, right? And if you're a part of the group, even if you're a part of the monthly and you haven't fully gone in and committed to the year, that's okay. There's no rush on doing that whatsoever. But you have access to these, and this is as close to a live one-on-one training that you guys are going to get if you're not on the annual plan. And so with that being said, I want to talk about, I think, probably the most important trend in digital marketing in terms of what people are responding to and what's making people money online. I want to talk about that research first, because everything that we do, all the minor details that I'll feed you throughout the course of your time with me, all kind of piggyback off of the idea that people don't want to be sold. They don't want to be bribed. They don't want to be incentivized. They want, a private, consumer-oriented, information-driven shopping session before they'll commit to doing what is nowadays the most terrifying thing in the world, which is talk to a salesperson who wants your money. And a lot of that is because of preconceptions from other marketers and what's worked, and more importantly what's not worked in those markets. But a big chunk of all of that has to do with the fact that information is just easier to find. I'll give you an example. In 2012, my team and I were killing it in real estate and mortgages, offering a free homes list of distressed property and foreclosures and stuff that would hit their inbox before it hit Zillow or Redfin or Trulia. And that worked. Nowadays, everyone would rather wait for the home to hit Zillow than talk to a human because of, again, maybe unscrupulous marketing techniques, maybe just getting smarter, I don't know. But they don't want to talk to a real estate agent. They want to look at some homes. And so for you to get someone who just wants to look at homes online to commit to talking to you and eventually going through a pre-approval process or whatever the quoting and qualification process is for your industry, you're going to have to take it up a notch from the traditional, hey, do you want to find out the 5 secrets of buying a home? Or do you want to see home before they hit the market, or any of that stuff that we normally do? Give me your email address and phone number. That's not going to happen. And if it does, it's often the people who are needy for a reason and have been told no elsewhere and are harder to qualify, will be more work, are not low-hanging fruit, and eventually will cost you more in terms of time and frustration and rejection. Right? And so that's one big part of lead generation, in my opinion, isn't just getting a high volume of leads. It's not just getting leads to come in below a certain cost threshold. It's not even getting a certain number of leads per day, unless there's certain considerations there. Everything has to do with the levels of intent for the lead and for the sale to be made in general, right? And so the levels of intent addressed from top to bottom. I've got the diagram in here, but so at the very top of that list is they don't know they're unknown, so they don't know who you are. They don't know they need this as a solution. They haven't even started looking. It's just like it's just unknown. It's nebulous, right? And then you go further into it to will this person show up in the targeting of an ad that I run? And the way that you can distinguish that is you have to place some trust in Facebook to capture when somebody visits a site that is specific to what you're looking for. So if they visit Zillow, chances are it's because they're moving or they're looking at home. So if they, if Zillow is one of their interests, then that's someone that would potentially be shown a home or a mortgage ad when you target that, right? And then they see your ad, so they're an impression. You're normally charged for impressions by Facebook. So how many people have actually seen this ad? How many times it popped in the newsfeed, whether they've done anything with it or not, whether they've clicked or anything like that, you're still charged for someone seeing it, like a postcard. And then there's clicks, right? Someone actually takes action and clicks. And there's landing page views, which means they clicked and they waited for the landing page to load, which is, that's why we teach to use very, streamlined, quick loading, easy on the eyes pages instead of, more complex, visually artistic solutions, because you're really not, artistry isn't really the goal in a situation where you only have like 0.5 seconds to capture someone's attention and move them forward in the sales process, right? And then from the point where they actually, are interested enough in the ad where they click on it, they wait for the page to load, and then they're on the page. Once you've got them on that page, statistics show that between 80 and 93% of people who land on a page like that, like a landing page, will not move forward with the sale the first time visiting that page, right? And so that, as a numbers game, if you've got a high ticket product that makes you a few thousand and, you're spending like $1 per person to land on your page, and so you're spending like maybe, $200 per sale for every $2,000 that you pull out in revenue, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. But as an economist, and frankly, as someone, as yourselves, as someone who's taken a course to find out how to make more money online, I'd be kind of doing you guys an injustice if I didn't at least address how to reduce the number of bounces, how to reduce your bounce rate, which would, essentially equate to increasing the conversions on the page itself and making you or the client more money, right? That's the end goal of any kind of campaign like this. And so people bounce off of the page for a few reasons. Number one, I found as far as like the culprits of why somebody won't move forward is that the offer on the landing page or the creative, which is the pictures and the colors, or some element of the landing page that they've landed on is incongruent with the ad copy or the promises made in the ad. One quick example, back then I've diagnosed probably 2,500 of these in the real estate sector in my time doing this as a instructor at the BFA and my own consultancy company. And of course, my mortgage business was kind of centered around the idea of setting up leads for set up lead ads for my agent partners. One of the primary we'll call it shortcomings as far as why people don't move forward. For example, the ad will say get a free list of homes, but the landing page will say find out how to qualify for a home. Something as simple as that, you're like, well, I didn't come here to qualify, I came here for a lead magnet. So number one, even if it results in fewer clicks onto your website, and even if it results in maybe a higher cost per click, you really want to be specific with the ad copy, especially with the latest changes coming out on Facebook, where you won't even be able to target people based on the stuff that you've been targeting them this entire time, especially in the housing sector, real estate, mortgages, that kind of a thing. Because of that, your copy has to really be the number one qualifier. If you're looking for seller leads, every word on that page needs to be written to a homeowner, right? If you're looking for buyer leads, every word has to be written to someone who doesn't own a home but wants to. If you're selling solar, every word has to be written for someone who owns a home, pays too much, is in debt to their utility company, or simply just wants to save money and go green, that's who you're speaking to. So your copy has to be very, very well done. I usually recommend for the first campaign a business does, or maybe the first serious campaign that you do as a student of this mastermind, is to hire a professional copywriter to write your first ad and landing page for you. It's going to be a little bit of money, probably over $1,000 to do it. But then again, you're doing this with some degree of scientific analysis. Where a good copywriter, I've got a few that I recommend, and only a few, because quality work is hard to come by, that have data that address how many people click on an ad like this in this market versus this, and they'll write the ad and landing page conducive to that. Now, once all the offers and all the creatives and everything is lined up, where you're offering the same thing on the landing page as you are on the ad itself, then you worry about how do I take this person who has kind of been shown this offer twice now, how do I incentivize them to take advantage of the offer? And there's several different ways to go about it. I like the hidden opt-in method, which is something that I've coined to represent a landing page that doesn't do the whole opt-in, give me your email address thing outright, but it assesses or asserts a degree of value onto the person hopping on. So I've in previous videos I've talked about building and structuring a landing page with each section handling a given objection, and with each objection being handled in a very creative and fun way. You show how you are different, you disrupt, and of course being honest while doing so is very important. I've always talked about your offers have to be real and legitimate. They can't just be fluff to get people to click. That's why people bounce off of websites. Basically, I'm teaching you guys how to do internet marketing in a way where you're not relying on metrics other marketers use to show, hey, something's happening, and you rely on the thing that actually matters, which is generating qualified and ready to go leads, right? And then so traditional marketing will leave the person, back to that levels of intent chart that I always talk about, at the opt-in range. So they've opted in because they're interested, they're curious, and they've committed to being, getting some item of value out from you. And the reason I don't like this method is because you're kind of in the middle of the sales process, and frankly, you're leaving your sales team the most difficult job in the entire process, which is once that lead has opted in and been emailed a guide of whatever, the steps of whatever to do. Next thing that has to happen is rapport has to be built. They have to, trust that we know what we're doing. And so, all of your communication and emails are, hey, did you read the report? Did you read the report? They finally read the report. You send them some more emails and some more marketing to stay top of mind. Maybe 1 out of every 100 will reach back out to you and, move forward with the process. But you're spending a lot of time, and a lot of your sales team's time, on chasing down dead work. And that has, I've written papers on this. This is something that is very important to me, is essentially the 1099, our contractors, the people who are independent contractors of our company, their level of excitement working with this workflow, right? And so what I mean by that is, if we focus on cheap leads but just getting as many in there as possible, flood the sales team, they're calling 10, 20 leads a day, only one of them is picking up because that's how it works, and you're leaving them all this work. At some point they're going to get discouraged, and when they get discouraged, they're probably not going to quit, because they won't know they're discouraged until long after it happens. But they're going to be working double hard on staying motivated and staying excited, and they're going to think that deals are going to fall through before they even do, so they may not be as excited on the phone. And a number of other things that happen when someone loses motivation to make money for you in the company. We've all seen it happen, and maybe that's why we're here. So instead of a model like that, where we're just generating as many as possible, we take it one step further, and once the lead is interested, we only give them a couple options, right? So option number 1 is to talk to our Drift bot. Now remember, everyone here has been given the secret link to get Drift at 93% off, so that's $600 a year. Oh my God, take advantage of that. 100% take advantage of that. You put that Drift bot on your site, and either every lead that comes in, I would say 40%, 30 to 40%, which is a huge conversion, will interact with that bot somehow by asking it a question. Does this product work for me? Is this something that will whatever objection they have, they're going to ask that, and then you're going to be able to get in there and respond to it. Now you take it one step further and automate the sales process from the bot. So if they don't want to talk to a human, they don't have to, but they still get their questions answered, and so do you. Push them through to a counter at the end of the day. So everyone your sales team talks to with this method is not, someone who you have to build rapport with, and someone you have to start a conversation with, and someone you have to qualify. And when they're qualified, then you have to get them to make a decision. The system takes care of all that for you, right? So you still need a sales team. You're never going to not need a sales team. That's just the truth, the reality of the world. But that sales team of yours can be highly trained, highly focused, and highly successful by focusing, purely on what the system spits out as a qualified lead, a conversion quality lead, which is a term I very much enjoy, which is someone who not only opts in, not only wants to move forward, but actually can move forward because they've answered certain questions that if they answer the wrong way, they're routed to a different automation altogether. And the sales team doesn't even deal with that because it won't be a sale. And there's certain disqualifying parameters I'm sure you guys can think of in your own business too. Credit, income, things like that. And then so once that person actually makes the decision to buy, then you're going into what I think is one of the more profitable, indirectly profitable components of your business, which is fulfillment, right? How do you intake that client? How do you get them on the relevant communication channels? How do you keep this person updated? Where can they get support from? Do they have a designated rep? If they don't have a designated rep, do they have a designated support site? And how are you communicating to this person that this support site is available? All these things are very important and should be done automatically. There shouldn't be a person on your team that handles this. There should be a person on the team that handles this in case something goes wrong, right? And so with that being said, you then have this, fulfillment process where everything that you say you're going to do is done with accountability and tracking, which I show you how to do in the course and under the fulfillment tab. And then once the fulfillment side is done, then you go to, I think, the best stage, the reason we even get into business in the first place, which is the advocacy stage, right? The most important, not the most important, probably the most satisfying feeling as a business owner is having someone who you've done business with recommend you, send their friends to you, give you good reviews, tell people how good you're doing, and comment on your posts, say this guy is fantastic, I've worked with him. Building advocacy takes a ton of work, and it takes a lot of skill on your part as a business owner providing that solution to this person. Now, if you set up your fulfillment, which is how you provide the solution that they paid for, in a way where everything is being kind of addressed and handled, and any issues that come up are handled immediately, because that's how the accountability system that we build works, and then you're top of mind. When you do request reviews and things like that and testimonials, it won't be kind of them doing you a favor. And even if it is them doing you a favor, you can incentivize that further by offering things like a chance to enter for a chance to win a free year of your product, or a chance to win maybe a $25 coupon for every person that you send in, or however you want to get creative about it. You can do that really effectively, and it happens a lot more frequently when the prospect is actually happy with your service. And happiness in terms of a prospect service, there's nothing short of rocket science. There's nothing that's rocket science about providing these kinds of solutions, right? It's just a matter of using the what I think is the Dolce and Gabbana model, where even in their outlet stores, there's a line out the door, maybe 4 people out in the store at a time, even though they'd make a lot more sales if they let the whole line in. However, more important than making sales on the beginning is establishing that brand and that consistent experience, so that essentially the name of your company, your service of what you do, you become your own innovative way of doing that thing. And when you get to that point, it's really just a matter of magnetizing the people who need that innovative way of getting this thing done. And from there, you do a good job, put them on the proper automations that will help you build out, or in fact are available in the funnel library. And it's just a much more reasonable and I think exciting way of doing business. So again, this has been a long video, but just to recap what we talked about, point number 1 is that this course, this group, everything is meant not just for yourself, but for your team as well. If you want to use it as a training thing for your social media team to build out $10,000 funnels and whatever the case is for whatever you're paying them per hour, just because they have all the stuff that they can just copy and paste in. If you are kind of a solopreneur, you just want to learn this stuff yourself. If you're a marketer and you want to get better marketing strategies to provide to your clients, that's what this group is for. So there's no concern that someone's going to rip off a method. If you ask a question, there's never going to be like, well, Todd's already doing that because he does funnels and you're taking his market share. I don't believe in any of that stuff, guys. If we all do really well at this, there's going to be more businesses for us all to market to, because more people are going to believe that this stuff actually works, because the people who are making it work are the ones doing it, which is you guys, as opposed to the people who just bought some random piece of software, copied a template and said, look, this is where we're at. Everything that we provide you guys has been tested with a definitive ROI that I'm comfortable with on my own end before I ever let you guys touch it. And that's the important part there, is it's all worked in some way, shape, or form. Barring that, I went over the levels of intent, all the way from being an unknown presence to being something that your clients will advocate for, and the different steps of getting there. And then I talked about the different components of an effective landing page to get started. But guys, for action items, I want you guys to go to the funnel library, or if not the funnel library, just the ClickFunnels template area, and grab a funnel that you think would work best for what you're doing. And then just go ahead and make some changes to the verbiage, to the pictures and stuff like that. And then I'll make a thread. Y'all can post it underneath this video, and I'll go through each one by one and critique and show you guys how you did, just because it's your first one. So let's all do that. Let's all jump in and see if we can't make a really quality unknown to advocacy experience for ourselves and for our clients. So guys, take care, have a beautiful day, and I will catch you all on the other side. Take care.